What is up, guys? Here back with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about a potential major severe weather event. We're also going to be talking about maybe some tropical weather, and yeah. So today we do we're gonna take a look at the severe weather threat for today. Today we just have a little bit of areas of marginal risk. We have a marginal risk in this region right here, another marginal risk in this region, and another marginal risk in this area right here too. So it's only 1 out of 5. It's a very low threat. Just be aware in these regions for maybe some isolated, no tornado threat obviously, just maybe some isolated hail and wind damage in these areas. Besides that, nothing much at that day. On day 2, we have a big enhanced risk of severe weather here. We have a huge slight risk of severe weather that does include St. Cloud, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Dubuque, Waterloo, and many other areas potentially in this risk. The enhanced risk is the area that we predict the highest threat for some significant damaging wind gusts from potential MCS that could potentially be a derecho in this region if models do start to uptrend more, but could be pretty significant here. We do have an enhanced risk of severe weather for La Crosse, Eau Claire, Winona, Rochester, Merrill, St. Cloud, and St. Paul and Minneapolis, and just to the north of Madison is Wazoo is also under this risk for tomorrow. So we're going to get more in depth with this event starting right now. So today we do have the threat for some big at times storms here. The temperatures, we're going to see what we're going to be seeing tomorrow is a lot of warm air centered in this region here. We're going to be seeing a lot of warm air. And then what we see is a big area of cold air heading in after these storms just blow up in this region. So a lot of cold air. So this is really going to support a major severe weather event today. If we do take a look at the composite reflectivity and what this is showing, this is a model. This is not 100% accurate, but it's showing what it could potentially look like here in the next few hours. So these storms will form around this region here in Minnesota. There could be some threats for some isolated wind damage. We also do have a little bit of storms that could form in this region. They could be some isolated severe, but the main event will be this number 2 of severe weather over here. But this could have some isolated damaging ones with it, but I don't think this will be as significant as our main event. If we do look at, see here. We do look at surface-based CAPE for that event, for that little storm. We do definitely have some CAPE in that region that would just blow up and head down south with that. So, trying to find wind shear. Oh, there, bulk shear. So, if we do take a look at bulk shear here, levels for that little storm, we will definitely have some areas of definite bulk shear in this region. We could definitely see some areas of bulk shear around 50 knots to almost 60 knots with this, so we could definitely see some big time storms. What bulk shear does is it poses more of a threat for more strengthening thunderstorms and storms to have a threat to strengthen and be very fast moving and potentially be tornadic with this. But I don't think these storms will be tornadic at all. There is definitely some wind shear levels with that, but I do not think that storm will be severe with it. If we do look at composite reflectivity, we're going to take a look at the main storms here. Just where these storms really start to strengthen is right in this little tip in Iowa and Minnesota here, reaching about St. Paul and Minneapolis here, with some really strong storms. It could definitely have some hail, because the more the threats of hail it will be in this region than it will be in this region. But the threats for wind in this region and hail in this region here is the main threats for those two areas. We could definitely have some very strengthening of storms here in Iowa. So we're going to take a look at the models for Iowa and see what it could look like here soon, because to know how strong these storms could be by the time they make it into Wisconsin, we need to watch how the kinematics are, or the ingredients in Iowa for strengthening of storms to be strong in Wisconsin and northern Illinois here. So we do have some big storms strengthening and heading in some very populated areas here. So this could be a very bad situation. Very weather weather. This will start to weaken by the time it makes it to Chicago, but this could be some very, very strong storms with this. If you take a look at the okay, let's look back around this time. So 33 will be at look at surface base Cape I rounds 33. Around 33, we do definitely have a ton of Cape in these areas, reaching about 5,000, almost 5,000 JKG of Cape. So we have a lot of Cape to support some big time severe storms to head into this area right here, which the main threats do being in this region right there. With this, we do have a ton of Cape. Now we need to take a look at bulk shear levels in this region. So we do take a look at wind shear. We do definitely have a ton of wind shear across northern Iowa for these storms. You can see those little spots of no shear, those little dots. That's these storms eating up the shear. With that, we do have up to up to 60 knots with this. We do have a lot of shear in these areas, up to 60 knots. Definitely, we have a lot of shear to support big time and severe storms that will definitely head south here and have just a lot of shear. Also, a lot of shear values in this region. But the main storms will be right in this region right there, is what I'm predicting. And right in this region, I think we'll see the worst amount of severe storms. And this will stretch into Chicago, but the shear does seem to be lower by the time it makes it to Chicago, and I do think there will be weakening. We still need to be a little weather aware in Chicago, as you could definitely get some potential for some isolated severe storms, but you can see they do start to weaken by the time they do make it to Chicago. If we do take a look at lapse rates, we definitely have a lot of lapse rates with this support. Potential for some bad storms with this. Let's look at surface-based Cape photographs. So we definitely have a little bit of curved photographs with this. Right in this region, I do think we'll have the most curved photographs here to support maybe some isolated tornadoes. We do have a 5% risk of tornadoes for today. That could definitely be a potential. And this MCS, we do have the threats to have some embedded tornadoes within the MCS line that we could get later on today. But I do think the supercell threat will be very low today, as if we do take a look at supercell composite, here we do have quite a bit of supercell composite in that region. But see, these storms do could have a little bit of embedded supercells within the line, just not as much with this. If we do you see around this point, they really start to weaken, and there's not a lot of supercell composite. That's why we do think the tornado threat will be higher in this region, and the wind threat will be higher in this region with this. But we don't have a lot of supercell composite, and I don't think we will see much in the way of supercells with that storm. We do look at helicity values here. We do have a lot of helicity in the region here in Iowa, where these storms really start to get strengthening and push further into this region here. So we do definitely have a lot of shear that will head through here. A lot of helicity values in these regions. Right in here, we have a lot of helicity to support bad storms. If we do take a look at significant tornado parameter today, we definitely do have a little bit of it. It's not much, but there's definitely a little bit of it. So we could definitely see some tornadoes within this, embedded within this line today. I meant tomorrow. We could definitely see some embedded storms. Energy helicity values. Definitely have some energy helicity too. Updrafts. Let's take a look at updrafts. you can see these storms really strengthening. I mean, the updraft helicity definitely shows the NAM 3 kilometers shows the main storms to be right in this region with a lot of updrafts in that region for helicity values. There. Yeah, it just shows a lot of helicity. And I do predict the main storms to be right in this region. I think we'll see the strongest bad storms with this today. Also, if we do take a look at dew points, we definitely do have a lot of dew points and a lot of instability in dew points in this region here. So that is definitely bad. Definitely a bad thing here. We still have this enhanced risk of severe weather up, so you do need to be very weather aware in these regions here. If you are wondering right now for a tropical weather update, the reason I don't think we will see much in the way of storm development for a while, and I think potentially we won't see any development for another 2 weeks here, as we just keep seeing tons of Saharan dust coming off the main development region in Africa here. Just bad. But the Gulf of, if any storms do form and make it to the Gulf of Mexico, they could be pretty bad with this. All this Saharan dust is preventing or choking development to form in the main development region, is why we aren't seeing much in the way of development there. But the Pacific Ocean isn't seeing much of that Saharan dust, so they're having development, but they don't have the biggest temperatures here, so that's why this could be very concerning for our area here. Well, this does conclude our video today. I do hope you guys really liked this video here. We could definitely see some very bad storms to form in this region. Hope you guys liked it. Bye, guys.